Hi everyone. So I'd like to welcome you to this module on functional anatomy. I'm Calvert, the module coordinator, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself and guide you through a few things like how you'll be assessed and how the content will be delivered. So over the coming weeks, we'll be exploring normal human form and gait and posture. We'll be looking at how to identify and palpate certain anatomical structures, mainly on the appendicular skeleton, so on your arms and legs. And we'll be learning how to assess joint range of motion and strength. Our content is going to be delivered through a mix of live online lectures, pre-recorded materials, and self-directed study. Each week we'll basically be covering specific topics or anatomical areas. So for example, in the first couple of weeks, I'll be introducing you to some of the important concepts of functional anatomy, like how it's important to use the correct terminology and have a system for assessing things like gait and posture. At this point, we'll be moving on to specific anatomical locations like the shoulder, elbow, wrist and hand. We'll be doing the lower limb later on in the semester. It goes without saying, but the material you covered last semester in your anatomy modules will be at the fore here. So it'll make your life so much easier if you already know all the different anatomical locations and names and actions of the different muscle groups. Think of this module as simply taking the next step in applying that theoretical knowledge in a real-world setting. So if you had difficulty with your anatomy module last semester, then you'll need to do a little bit of extra work to catch up, because having a core knowledge of anatomy will have a huge bearing on your ability to get a good grade. When it comes to grading, you will basically be assessed in two ways. First, an online exam in week 12 covering all the theory delivered in the previous weeks, and second, via a practical exam. During that practical exam, you'll be asked a series of 10 questions that will involve applying the knowledge you learn in your practical classes. You could be asked to palpate a particular anatomical structure or assess your model's muscle strength. You could be asked to demonstrate different tests for specific muscle groups or measure the range of motion in a given joint. The upshot is that those who attend the weekly practical classes are usually well prepared and score well in the practical exam. Those who don't are usually caught out badly. So I really would encourage you to attend every single practical class. You won't directly lose marks for not attending, but it does tend to show up when poor attendees turn up in the practical exam at the end of the semester and draw a blank. So hopefully I'll be able to support you along the way, but a recent addition to the module is our very own specialised module assistant, a Functional Anatomy GPT. This GPT can give you notes on the different lectures, tell you when your exams are, and explain the rubric according to which you'll be assessed in the practical, so make sure to try it out. That said, I can't guarantee that it won't hallucinate, so always check the module information on Brightspace for the important stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to getting started with you.